so much for that thunderous yet well-deserved applause. My name is Bob Stillman. Hey, I've got the fun factoid of the night, ladies and gentlemen. Did you know that with a life expectancy of 80 years, and let's just say you happen to be 40 years old, that you have exactly 360,000 hours of life left? Doesn't that make you feel good? Makes me feel good. Now, if you sleep, if you get 8 hours of sleep every night, that leaves you with 238,000 hours of life to experience from 40. Now, not everybody is 40, so you're going to have to shift that a little bit forward or backward. Depends on how good you're feeling. You maybe get more than 40 years, or in addition to it, and less, right? Okay. I want everybody, put your evaluation forms down because I'm gonna rock this place, but just go ahead and put those down. Everybody stand up, and turn to somebody right next to you and just introduce yourself. All right, that's enough. This is my 5 minutes now. I can't have you that much. All right. Now, I want you to turn to somebody completely different, and I want you to look them straight in the eye. I want you to poke their hand aggressively, and I want you to say, "I'm ecstatic to be in your presence." Go ahead, try it.
Ecstatic to be in your presence.
Outstanding. All right, everybody sit down. This is my show.
I'm ecstatic to be in your presence.
Did anybody feel a slight difference? Besides the fact that you've been sitting for a while and your butt was decompressing, what was the other things that were different about that? That was just a little tip of the iceberg, folks, but you were engaged. When you looked that other person in the eye, they knew you're getting everything. You're getting all of that person for that very, very small bit of time. Now, we've heard some other great speakers tonight talk about such issues as the attention span in America, just dwindling down to nothing. I believe I've used this before. Back in the 1700s, people received as much information all year as you're able to get from just one sit-down with the New York Times. Does that make sense? Does it make sense that from then till now, with the advent of TV, radio, instant messaging, voicemail, text messaging, we're at a distraction overload right now, folks. We need to guard against the enemy that is distraction. Would you agree with me? Do I hear an amen out there? Amen. Amen. I don't know why. Sometimes I get up here, I feel like T.D. Jakes. I don't know. Get up there and roll it. All right. Well, all right. So if we know what the enemy is, how do we combat it? It's a great question, right? I spent my entire life mired in the muck of mediocrity. Oh, I didn't start out that way. Oh, no. As Deb mentioned, I was born into a life of privileged lifestyle at the DeYoung Mobile Home Park. The reason that I was in a privileged lifestyle was two reasons. One, my grandfather, Garrett DeYoung, was the proprietor. And the second reason was, back then, they weren't necessarily the haven for rednecks that they are today. Back then, they were more for older folks, okay? And you had a nice, I had 1,000 grandmas that all wanted to be with this 10-pound, 12-ounce boy that came home from Ingalls Memorial Hospital when I was born. So I had more than enough loving growing up at the DeYoung Mobile Home Park. All right, so that is where we came from. All right, anyway, I've gotten totally off track. I'm sorry. How did we get there? Would you mind telling me how we get there? I got disengaged, didn't I? I did. And it happens every day. I was just coming home from the train the other day, and I was not text messaging, I was trying to get my phone. I was running late for an appointment with the attorney, and I ran straight into a swamp full of mud. And I was up to my axle in mud. I couldn't get out. I had to call my dad. He came over and he pulled me out of there. But that's just one example. I said, boy, Dr. Heal Thyself, you are not being very good as an engagement coach. So I got to have Harry at each one of my speeches. That guy's fantastic. All right, so how do we get this done? How are we able to engage ourselves and get rid of those distractions? Well, the first thing is you got to realize when you're getting distracted. So you're sitting there at your desk, you're getting an instant message, you're getting a phone call from your significant other, your wife, you've got people coming in 2 minutes, you've got to prepare for a meeting, you're frazzled. You're frazzled. How do you get into the moment so that you can be all that you can be? That is the question. Now, I know I'm just the opening act for Big Sean, who's coming up after me. But if you want to stick around, we're going to have a little bit of fun. Thank you all very much for your kind attention. I am Bob Stillman.